Hey guys, it's Carla. Today I'm starting with my chipboard already painted and dried, and I've got my outline sketched on. So the first thing I want to do with a flat synthetic brush is just mix up a color for my boots. And you can make these any color you want. I'm mixing violet with a little bit of yellow and white to lighten it a little bit. The yellow is just to dull it down so that it's not like straight from the tube purple. So I'm just going to loosely paint this left boot first so that I can keep them separated. They're both going to be the same color, but I'm going to separate them with a different shade so that I don't lose my outline right there. Alright, so with a little bit of white added to that, just to change the shade a little bit, I'm going to start on the other boot. So now with that highlight color, I can come back and highlight the darker one and give both of them some dimension and make them both the same shade. I want to leave my brush strokes kind of messy though. Now these are just some brighter highlights because, they're rain boots, so they're rubber, and so they're catching some sunlight. So now with that darker shade, I'm going to come back on the right side of the right boot and darken it, so then that gets them closer to the same color as each other, same shade. But again, I want the brush strokes very choppy and messy. So now I'm just mixing up a shade for the trim on the boots. And again, you can change this color, but I want them to be kind of a dull yellow. This will show up better when the background is not yellow. So I'm going to start on that now. Just mixing up a dark shade. I'm going to go right against the boot with this really dark color. And then just decide how far up you want to go. So all of this down here, I want to keep my brush strokes kind of horizontal and loose. And the farther I get away from the boots, the lighter the shade will get. I don't want a hard line right here, so I'm softening it up. So now I'm just putting some color, I guess, some shade color into the, so maybe they're dirty, maybe, I don't know, it just adds something to it rather than just having one solid color. I'm going back into that dark shade, and I want it really, really dark right up against the boot. So second coat on that might be needed. Okay, and I'm just cleaning up my palette. I'm sprayed water on it and wipe it with a paper towel because this is a glass palette, so it's easy to clean up. All right, so now I'm going to start on my greenery, and the first thing I want to do with the greenery is to put like a solid green back there. So all of this is going to be back behind the flowers, and it'll like show through between some of the flowers. And then as I go out toward the edges, I want to make sure it's really soft. And if you'll go down right here beside the boot, then you'll have some greenery coming out from behind the boot. And same thing on this side. But you want it really soft out toward the edges. And then I want some darker greenery right here, like going down into the boots and up toward the center. Just keep this away from the edges, because the edges always catch more light than the middle. And then I decided to put some down here between the two boots. Okay, now with that dry, I'm coming back, still using my flat brush, and I'm just loosely brushing in a center for my flowers. So each of these flowers is going to have this burnt sienna center. So I'm going to start with my pink flowers. So I want to mix up a pink shade with a clean brush. Again, still using that flat synthetic brush. So with the edge of the brush, I'm just brushing in some very loose petals without covering up my center. And some of the flowers you're going to see the whole top of the flower. Some you're going to see them at a side view, so just keep that in mind. Don't make them all flat looking. And try to avoid spacing them evenly apart. Like some of them you want to be touching, some not. Some gaps in the greenery, just so that it looks more organic. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the purple flowers. Just put in a center for each one. And now with violet and white, mix up a light purple shade. I'm going to pick up a little bit of blue just to kind of give it a different flavor. All right, now I jumped ahead of myself right here. I started mixing up my petal color before I put my centers in. So I'll have to go back and do that. But these flowers are gonna be kind of a pale yellow. I'll go ahead and put my centers in there. Now these are going to look dull for now because they need highlights, but it's nice to have the dull color underneath sometimes so that it gives you more texture. And it kind of keeps things soft so that even when you put the highlights on, your petals still look kind of soft. These are, I'm not going for real soft petals here, but that is a way when you're trying to make soft petals. Start with your original color being kind of dull and muted. All right, now I want a lighter green shade for to kind of brighten up my greenery a little bit here and there. I'm just kind of tapping the brush here and there. This also helps clean up around the edges and brighten up the edges. All right, so now with a little bit of white on the brush, I'm just gonna use the corner of my brush to dab in some highlights without covering up the color underneath. Now over here on the yellow flowers, as I get closer toward the right, I don't want to highlight as much because that's my shaded side. All right, now I'm using, that's extender up there by the way, but you could use water for this too, but I'm just thinning down some light blue for my splatters, and I want to keep my, this is with a fan brush, and I want to keep my splatters mostly on the flowers. So I'm trying not to splatter the boots very much. You know, they're going to get some of it, but mostly I just want to keep the splatters up there toward the top. So I'm just tapping that on my finger. And I'll show you how when you get a blob, too big of a blob that you don't want, I'll show you, it's easy right there. I'll show you how to take that off. So I got one up there in the center of the flowers, right there. I'm just lifting it off with the brush, blending it in. And one right there on the boot, which it's on a highlighted area, so I can just blend it into the boot. So that's it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and God bless you.